From discussing what should be India's playing 11 in the next test match to who's the best all-round batsman in world cricket at the moment, that's been the hot topic of discussion during commentary. And that also tells you where we find ourselves in that session just finished before tea. That's because Australia is so far ahead. India now, you could literally say, are almost waiting for a declaration rather than really look to get Australia all out. You're watching ESPN Cricket for Match Day. I'm Nikhil Naz, joining me, Akash Chopra. Akash, since we're talking about that declaration, many would say that what 330, 350 would have been enough. When do you expect Australia now to declare?
Very soon, because the question that is at this point in time is asked within the team group. Bowlers are also taken into account, and it's the question is how many overs do you need to bowl the opposition out? You keep the tiredness of the bowlers in mind. That's just one part of that discussion. But more importantly, how the pitch is behaving, and this pitch is behaving in a fashion where certain balls are going to stay low, some will just climb up. India is already a batsman short, so they only need to take about 9 wickets. And Jadeja has been a huge contributor with the bat as well. And if you remove him, you know that this team can be dislodged. Then the tail becomes even longer. And I think maybe it's up to them. Honestly, as far as I'm concerned, there are enough runs on the board already. India is not going to get it, even though there is enough time in the game to score those many runs. But I don't see India getting it. Call me an absolute pessimist, but I think this is where the game is heading.
No, you're definitely not a pessimist. Realist is what I'm going to say at the moment, because that's where the game seems to be. But just talking about the declaration once again, so you really do expect Australia to now come out and bat even after tea? I take your point about bowlers needing rest, but it's been almost 24 hours since they last bowled.
Yes, and see, rest is only a minor consideration. It is not a deal breaker. Because if you have a test match to win, you're playing for your country, and these are not back-to-back test matches, mind you. The last test match got over on the 29th or 30th of December, and today is 8th or 10th of January. So you know that there is enough time for you to recuperate. And even if it were to be, say, back-to-back test matches, the only thing that is overriding everything else is the fact that you have a test match to win. And here, if you win the test match, you know that you can't lose the series. Then you only need a draw in the last test match. So that is only a minor consideration, not something that's going to actually dictate terms, but more so about how many overs do you bowl, how many overs of the second new ball do you need, because that's also something that you want to keep in mind. Because team, if they go on to score or rather not get dismissed in the first 80 overs, you want a fair crack with the second new ball as well, because that tends to just accentuate the uneven bounce and just the uneven nature of the pitch on day 5. So those are the things that you keep in mind, but they can actually declare right away. So that's something that they'll have to obviously decide and declare maybe.
Okay, I'm going to take that point forward. You talk about that uneven bounce. In fact, we started seeing that uneven bounce from day 2 onwards. Keeping that in mind, how does the pitch look to you now? I mean, for those who still are hopeful of, let's say, an India fight back or India drawing this test match, has it deteriorated the way you expected it to be on day 4, day 5, considering that we saw that uneven bounce from day 2 onwards?
See, the other aspect that we will only get to know when Australians bowl is that their bowlers are a lot taller. So when the bowlers are a lot taller, they obviously extract extra bounce. So you prepare yourself for that extra bounce, and then any ball staying lower than your expectation, it just gets highlighted a little more. It's that much difficult to handle. So I think pitch has deteriorated. The only good thing is it's also slowing down considerably. It started as a slow pitch, it slowed down further. So if there is some amount of uneven bounce, there is some percentage of it that you can manage because of the slowness of the surface. But then if the ball is a little on the fuller side, bowled at 140 clicks from 7 feet tall release point, then it becomes difficult for you to adjust, because you're constantly thinking about back foot, but you should actually be trying to get onto the front foot to a ball that is to be played on the back foot. So those are the things that make it difficult. Pitch has deteriorated, no doubt about it. It remains to be seen how the Aussie bowlers bowl. We are slightly hamstrung. Let's be fair. We are slightly hamstrung with our bowling attack. There are 2 rookies. Bumrah's not having any luck. Catches are getting dropped. And Ashwin doesn't have the assistance of Ravindra Jadeja either.
That's right. India really missed Ravindra Jadeja, the bowler. Of course, as Akash mentioned a short while ago, we won't have him batting as well because he's dislocated that finger. So India go in with a batsman shot. Talking about that uneven bounce, Akash, one guy who was completely not perturbed by any of this was Cameron Green. The IPL auction isn't too far away. You expect a few IPL teams to be lining up for him, considering the way he was striking the ball.
That's the thought I had in mind when I saw him first, to be honest, because he is a unique package, Nikhil. Of course, he's just enhancing that reputation because that reputation was built on his numbers in first class cricket. But then you also want to see whether he can replicate that in test match cricket at the highest level. And he's been able to do that. He is a rare package because he's a proper batsman who could bat in the top five. He's that good a batsman. He can use the long handle. He has that range of hitting. Plus, he's the bowler that a team would have as perhaps the third fast bowler, not actually the fourth fast bowler, because those basics are pretty right. So his high arm action, his bowls at say 140 clicks. He actually troubles you quite a bit because those bowling basics are also right, and he's not wavered. So he's also going to give you control. I won't be surprised if more than one team will be excited about Cameron Green's possibility at the auctions.
One, Akash, is to be presented with an opportunity. The other is to make use of that opportunity. In that sense, you reckon Cameron Green did what was expected out of him because he couldn't have got a better situation to bat on. Australia far ahead in the game. So if he had to notch up his first 15 test cricket, these were the perfect circumstances.
Absolutely, and he batted well earlier as well. It's not that he's not been batting well. And now the stage was set. The opposition is on the mat. They're trying their best, but then they do not have the same arsenal anymore at their disposal. So you just go on and build from there. But then, having said that, easier said than done. You still need to go there and do it. A lot of people are not able to. And Matthew Wade is the prime example that he's got those opportunities. He's got the skills. We know he hammered India in that T20 game, at least not once but twice. So he's got the skills, but he's not been able to replicate it in Test match cricket. So you need skills, but you also need the execution of those skills at the right time. And full credit to a young boy. Cameron Green looks huge. We actually feel slightly strange to call him a young boy from an Indian perspective. But he looks mature. He looks mature. His age is defying his, or rather, is belying his maturity.
Okay, plenty of things went wrong for India while they were fielding. We'll get to it in a short while, Akash. Before that, I want to get to a thing that went right for them, and that was, we were speaking about Cameron Green, the debutant, the series debutant. Let's talk about the Test match debutant in Navdeep Saini. I mean, in a sense, you'd have to say baptism by fire for him because considering he got the flattest, pitch in the series so far. On top of that, he came across two batsmen who struck form in Steve Smith and Manas Labuschagne, and then to get those two wickets, I mean, that would stand him in good stead going forward.
See, these are tough conditions for a fast bowler, and he happens to play his first Test match now, and then in a Test match where he's got very little assistance from the rest, he was not even bowled properly in the first innings, is what I felt. But this time he's bowled well. That catch by Saha should also be mentioned because it was a tough take down the leg side to dismiss Manas Labuschagne. A full stretch dive on the left. That's where Wriddhiman Saha is absolutely exceptional behind the stumps. And the second wicket I thought was beautiful because the ball just darted a little after pitching. There was extra bounce, got the outside edge of Matthew Wade, the bowling from round the stumps. See, he'll continue to grow in confidence because he's that kind of investment. He's that future investment where you know that he's going to reap rewards. He will give you a lot of dividends if you keep persisting with him. So India, one man's loss is another man's opportunity. So there is no Shami, there is no Umesh, there is no Ishan, and therefore we've been able to unearth Mohammad Siraj and Navdeep Saini. So now you've got nice 5-6 fast bowlers who are available for selection in Test match cricket. And remember, Bhuvi will also eventually get fit and will put his hat in the ring. So these are happy days from that perspective, but nothing to be too happy about as far as this Test match is concerned.
Okay, the latest update coming from Sydney looks like, Akash, Australians have heard you because they have declared. So the Indian batsman would be coming out shortly. We'll talk about how India should be approaching their second innings. Before that, let's go back to the start of the day. Second ball of the day, a simple catch is dropped. I mean, you never know where things could have gone from there, Akash. Had that catch been taken, what you're looking at staring down the barrel now at 400 could have been possibly 300. Who knows?
Agree wholeheartedly because Catches are there. See, there are no outside factors involved when you're talking about fielding. And India's fielding, India's catching has been very patchy, really ordinary. From the time we step foot on the Australian soil, my mind goes back to the first ODIs, the three ODIs, then the T20Is. Now you're talking about the third Test match. Only the second Test match was one game where we did not drop too many. We actually took more than we dropped. But besides that, we just grassing too many catches. And it was not just the second ball where a catch was dropped. There was another opportunity that was grasped of Bumrah. Cameron Green was the beneficiary at that point in time. Rohit Sharma was the culprit. There are just too many catches. So why they are dropping so many catches? I don't know. Are they practicing enough? Are they taking enough catches? I would assume yes, because that's what all international sides do. But this has to be stopped. This has to be changed, because there are seriously no excuses. You need to taking 20 wickets is tough in a test match on a pitch like this. Now tell the bowlers that that's not enough. Take 25. That's just not right.
Okay, when do you, I mean, I'm sure Akash, as we're talking about it, I'm sure the dressing room also discusses these drop catches, but when is the time that you begin to take some concrete sort of steps there to mend this thing? I don't know, change the fielding coach or whatever else that needs to be done. When do you see a concrete step? Have we reached that stage? Because it's what, 10 catches in 3 test matches so far?
100%. See, these are extraordinary times also, Nikhil. So if you want to say change something, there are back-to-back series, then you go into a bubble. There is very little preparation before a series, where now this team has been in a bubble for what, 6 months, starting August, ending mid-January. Now when they get back, you would assume that they'll get some time to go and spend with their family, and not get into a different bubble straight away, and then start working on the skills. So maybe there is not enough time between the two series to rectify it, but then there is enough time during a series to continue to address it. And I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% certain that Indian team is doing the same. But you have, of course, reached that point where you will have to start answering questions that why is it happening? Is it the fielding coach? Are we not fielding enough? Are we not paying enough attention? Is there a lot of quantity but not enough quality when we are taking catches? Or what exactly is happening in a match situation? Are we just getting too tightened up because we're not confident? We are not expecting the ball to come our way. Are we getting tired? There's plenty of questions that need addressing. But if you want to be a top flight international side that India is, you've got to take catches. Half catches should be taken, and we are dropping straightforward chances.
All right. No century for the Australian team in the second innings. They've notched up, what, 312 for 6, but very well could have been a century for Steve Smith had he not gotten out against the run of play to Ravichandran Ashwin. Akash, firstly, what did you make of that DRS?
That was all right. I actually felt that it is okay. See, it cuts both ways. So you can't always be unhappy about this happened or that happened, because we've seen enough controversies around the DRS. Now, if there is projection, there is projection. You go with it and you say that's it. Thank you very much. It says that more than 50% of the ball was hitting, and therefore 3 reds. Then if it's 3 reds, it is 3 reds. And then you take it with a pinch of salt, or if you are the batsman, maybe a fist of salt. But you got to just live with it, because there are far too many cases where you actually end up asking questions that is it okay? Does it need to be changed? So when we are going down that route, I am okay. Actually, it was a decent ball. Steve Smith was employing a different kind of tactic to play Ravichandran Ashwin. Even on that dismissal, that delivery, he was standing actually outside leg stump. So he's got a different way of now countering Ravichandran Ashwin's spin, who's had a good over him. Of course, in this test match, Steve Smith played him really well and has got runs, even though he's been dismissed now by Ashwin. But then this battle, I'll say that was won by Steve Smith at Sydney, and he's trying to employ different tactics. Otherwise, on a normal pitch, or rather when he's on song, he's not thinking about a different tactic or strategy. He would have been standing in the middle stump, and that impact would have been outside off, because the front foot would have gone a lot forward and across. But this time, since he was standing outside leg, that front foot actually ended within the stumps. That generally does not happen with Steve Smith when he's playing an off spinner.
Okay, we don't know whether Steve Smith was upset with the DRS call. Yes, he was shaking his head, but we don't know whether he was upset with himself or probably, as Akash points out, that different stance that he was taking, the impact could have been different, something that he could change going forward. But probably, Akash, all of this debate that we're having about DRS kind of reinstates that umpire's call. Plenty of debate about that too. So let the umpire's call be there, because we're getting to know that the technology really isn't 100%, or at least there are a few doubts about it.
See, there are doubts, but then where do you draw the line is my question. Because while we want to skirt that issue by saying, okay, let's stick with the umpires because technology is not foolproof, but also in the same breath, try explaining to a batsman that you are given out this DRS hasn't gone in your favor because the on-field umpire has decided in a different fashion. The same umpire, same balls, same batsman on a different day could be not out, and now you're out. So that actually questions the utility of the DRS, and that is my only bone of contention. I'm okay with umpires having a lot bigger say and all of that, but there has to be consistency, and consistency will eventually lead to credibility. And consistency is when you decide, say, if 50% is not something that you're too happy with, then more than 50% has to be the red. Otherwise, it's an umpire's call. So if the margin of error, as the technology is, I'm pretty sure, improving, and you're researching, you're getting better, then maybe say if more than 30% is missing or something, and then you take a call that if it is less than 30%, for example, that's not out. That's not out, come what may. It doesn't matter what the on-field umpire has said. So at least you've given that much benefit of the doubt to the batsman. There is enough time for umpires to make those calls, and then 50% is, and I'm just increasing that margin with a random number, but trying to find consistency where umpires call, I am not 100% certain with that it is the way to go. It has to change. When is the question, not if.
Okay, I'm just going to go back to that fascinating point, Akash, you made about Steve Smith, standing outside leg. What that also tells me, this duel between Ashwin and Smith, both players seem to be innovating a lot. We've seen it with Ashwin, how he approaches, his attack against Steve Smith, the field placements that he comes up with, just tells you that both of them kind of enjoy each other, and that then brings about the best from them because they're innovating as they go along.
See, they are quality competitors, and this is exactly what you would expect from two champion players. One has got nearly now what 380 Test wickets. The other guy is averaging 65 plus in Test match cricket. They're phenomenal players of this generation, and they when they are locked in a contest, they will come up with answers. First couple of Test matches, Ravichandran Ashwin was all over Steve Smith, to the extent that Steve Smith made a public admission that I'm allowing him to settle down. I'm allowing him to dictate terms, and I'm going to change that. And boy, he did. The way he batted in the first innings from ball one, get go. He was on the offensive. He was dancing down the pitch. He was willing to go aerial. He was willing to put pressure back on Ravichandran Ashwin. And Ashwin, on the other hand, is also innovating. He's going slightly round arm. He's making, in fact, bowling balls which are not supposed to, which are not likely to turn a lot more. So varying that as well, imparting less side spin, more side spin, going around the stumps, taking the ball straight, using that angle to his advantage, varying the pace. See, these are the kind of contests that enrich Test cricket, because this is what it's all about, right? One versus one in the end. And if two champion players are up against each other, there is never a better side.
Okay, so just to remind you once again, Australia have declared they've got a lead of 406 runs. Now, Akash, let's talk about how India approaches this particular inning. As we've spoken, they're a batsman short, staring down the barrel, such a huge total. The pitch, as you mentioned, isn't great to bat on. How is it that you approach this to ensure that you could get something out of this game?
See, play each ball on its merit. Just break it down to a very single molecule, that one element, that one ball is what you have to play at that point in time. Now try and isolate yourself and then just be in that bubble where you are only concerned about the ball that you're playing and forget about the rest. Because 406 is a mountain too high to climb. Let's be fair, you may not reach there, not on this surface with the kind of batting that you have, minus Kohli and minus Jadeja now. So it is difficult. Maybe there is a miracle, but that miracle will only happen when you've found yourself in a place to create that miracle by day 5. For that, and that also is a bridge too far. So just one ball at a time, play it on its merit, play to the best of your ability, and just react, because we are all at our best, and that's what Sachin actually said that, and he wrote in his book as well, that we are at our best when we are at the opposite end and not at our own end. When you're only thinking about what the bowler is doing and you're trying to react to that ball, you're at your best. When you start thinking about yourself and where you need to now take the team along, that's when your thinking gets muddled. So just one ball at a time, and then just hope for the best.
Plenty of things for individuals to achieve, Akash. I mean, probably going into the next test match, you'd like, say, Cheteshwar Pujara to get some runs, Hanuma Vihari probably to get some runs, because now they're definitely looking ahead to the final test match.
Absolutely, but then see, this a test match is still to be played. However much you or people believe that this is over, it is not over till it is. So you got to fight, you got to believe. People on the ground, people who have to bat, they have to have 100% belief that this can be rescued. You can actually walk away with either a draw or a win. You have to give yourself that kind of mental belief and chance that it is doable. It has been done in the past, and we have played some incredible knocks in the past as well to rescue test matches. Let's do that once again. So that kind of belief has to be there, and everybody will be at their 100% in terms of mental preparation, that you're thinking positive, and of course everybody needs to score runs. So at this point in time, I think they should not be looking at the next test match. There is a test match to be played. There is 120 overs to be played, and 120 overs can be batted out. So you and I may feel something else, but then the team, I have 100% surety. If I were in that dressing room, that's the only thought that would enter my mind and the dressing room space, that we can do it, guys. Let's do it again.
Okay, so play each ball to its merit. Small targets is what Akash is advocating at the moment. I think the first small target that India would have in mind is to come out to bat on day 5, and that way we'll also have Akash back and join us on ESPN Cricket for Matchday. Thanks so much for watching.